What's the strangest chaplain situation you've encountered in combat? I found out when our base chaplain single-handedly stopped a Taliban assault using nothing but a communion cup and some very creative tactics. Chaplain Mike was this soft-spoken guy from Iowa. Mid-50s, gray hair, thick glasses, looked like someone's kindly grandfather. Never raised his voice, always had time to listen, carried his Bible everywhere. Most peaceful man I'd ever met, which made what happened next completely insane. We were at a small outpost in eastern Afghanistan, maybe 40 soldiers total, middle of nowhere, surrounded by mountains and bad guys. Chaplain Mike held services every Sunday in our makeshift chapel, basically a storage tent with some folding chairs. The attack came during morning prayers. Taliban hit us from three sides with rockets and machine guns. Classic coordinated assault designed to overrun our position quickly. I was running to my fighting position when I saw Chaplain Mike still in the chapel tent. Figured the old guy was probably praying for divine intervention or hiding under a table. 5 Taliban fighters breached our perimeter, heading straight for the command post. Between them and headquarters was one obstacle, the chapel tent with Chaplain Mike inside. I'm thinking this peaceful man of God is about to become a casualty. Started running toward the tent to help evacuate him. That's when I heard the strangest sound, singing. Chaplain Mike was singing hymns at the top of his lungs. Amazing grace echoing across the battlefield while gunfire erupted everywhere. Thought the stress had finally broken him. Then I saw what was really happening. Those 5 Taliban fighters were on the ground, unconscious. Chaplain Mike was standing over them, straightening his collar, still humming softly. What the hell just happened? I asked when I reached him. He looked up calmly, adjusted his glasses. Oh, I used to box in college. Golden Gloves champion 3 years running? Then seminary school taught me about pressure points. Pressure points? Ancient martial arts. Very effective for non-lethal subdual. He gestured to the unconscious fighters. They'll wake up in about 20 minutes with splitting headaches. I stared at this mild-mannered chaplain who'd just taken down 5 armed terrorists with his bare hands while singing church songs. How? When? Why didn't anyone know about this? He shrugged. Never came up in conversation. I'm here to provide spiritual guidance, not discuss my athletic background. Besides, violence should always be a last resort. The fighting lasted another hour. Chaplain Mike spent it treating wounded soldiers and praying over the guys he'd knocked out, even gave them water when they came to. After the battle, word spread fast. Our gentle chaplain was secretly some kind of religious ninja. Everyone wanted to hear the story. He refused all requests for demonstrations or training sessions. Said his fighting days were behind him. This was an exception due to circumstances. Command tried to get him reassigned to special operations. He declined. Preferred ministering to regular soldiers who needed spiritual support. But something changed after that day. Soldiers started attending his services more often. Not because they were suddenly more religious, but because they respected what he'd done. He never mentioned the incident again. Never bragged or acted differently. Just went back to being the quiet, kind chaplain who listened to everyone's problems. 6 months later, during his farewell ceremony before rotating home, our commander presented him with a custom challenge coin. One side showed crossed chapel and boxing gloves. The inscription read, Chaplain Mike Martinez, Warrior Priest, Afghanistan 2010-2011. He looked at it for a long moment, then handed it back. Keep this for someone who needs recognition. I already know who I am. That night, at his goodbye party, a young soldier asked him for advice about handling fear in combat. Chaplain Mike thought for a moment, then smiled. Son, I've learned that faith and training both matter, but the real secret is knowing when to pray and when to throw a right hook. Last I heard, he's running a youth boxing program at his church back in Iowa, teaching kids self-defense and life lessons.